what's going on, guys? War Brothers Collectibles here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. I just want to take a few minutes today to talk about Tomb Raider and express my excitement for the new Sophie Turner Tomb Raider series currently in development at Amazon Video. So yeah, I've been a huge fan of Tomb Raider, since I was a child. It's been with me my entire life. And yeah, I just want to take a few minutes to talk about my Tomb Raider experience in this video today. So grab a drink, relax, and enjoy the video. So first off, I just want to say that I'm by no means a die-hard, expert of the Tomb Raider series. I have played bits and bobs of all the games over the years, from the original first 4 games. The only one I never actually played properly is Tomb Raider Chronicles. But I played Angel of Darkness, Legend, Anniversary, Underworld, and then the last game that I played in the series is actually the self-titled Tomb Raider game. When they rebooted the series, I have not had a chance to play the other ones yet. But yeah, I think Lara Croft Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie was actually the first DVD that somebody ever bought me. I was about 6 or 7 years old at the time, just starting to become aware of Tomb Raider and the popularity of Lara Croft. And then I saw the film on a shelf in W.H. Smith's, and my father actually bought me the DVD. It was probably one of the first DVDs, as I say, that I'd ever got. And so I was super excited to see Tomb Raider, on big screen, on a movie. I was so excited for it. And, as a child, I was totally blown away by this movie. I've since updated to the Blu-ray, by the way. I was totally blown away by this movie back in the day. Thought it was the best thing. Used to watch it all the time. It became one of my favorite movies to watch. And I still have a lot of fun with this film, I still enjoy it to this day. I watched it last night, still enjoy it thoroughly. It's just highly entertaining, action-adventure piece. And Angelina Jolie, is incredible in the role as Lara Croft. She does an absolutely amazing job. I know there was controversy when she was cast in the role due to her private life and all that, but I think the fans were certainly satisfied when they finally saw her on the big screen as Lara Croft. Now, I've recently learned of a 130-minute original cut of this movie, the director Simon West actually wanted to release, but it was, studio interference cut this film down to 88 minutes. So from an original 130-minute cut, that is a crazy amount of footage that has been cut out from the final version. There's been petitions from fans over the years to release the fully uncut version, and I'm all for it, because apparently it's a very different film. Test audiences, deemed the 130-minute cut like virtually unwatchable, so it was severely edited and cut down to 88 minutes. But as I say, as a fan of this movie, I'm so intrigued to, if we'll ever find that 130-minute version and it will ever be released. I highly doubt it, but I really think it should, guys. I think now is the time with this new series coming out, and the interest is probably starting to surge again in Lara Croft. By all means, re-release this uncut version of this film, this never before seen version, because although this is the uncut edition of the 88-minute cut, the normal version, the only difference I notice is of the old DVD, they cut out a headbutt, and this headbutt in the fight scene is now put in, so it gets called the uncut edition and gets a 15 certificate rather than a 12. But that's about it. There is deleted scenes in the special features, but it's not all the footage, obviously. It's just, I think it totals to about 7 minutes of deleted scenes. So yeah, I am all for this unseen version, 130-minute version. You've got to release it, guys, It's just for the fans, the fans want it. I've been looking at a load of discussion boards and a lot of talk about it, and, it's Simon West's original vision of the film that he was never able to put out due to studio interference. So yeah, I'm all for that release of the Tomb Raider film with Angelina Jolie. Release that version, guys. The fans want it, so I really think you should. And then when I got word of a sequel coming out back in the day, I remember renting this from the video van that used to come down the street, and I was disappointed. I was so let down by this movie. I was certainly hyped up for it. I was really looking forward to it. And I only watched it maybe twice since seeing it for the first time in my childhood. And I tried to enjoy it, tried to find something that I really liked about it, but I just couldn't. until it was about last year that I finally gave in and was like, you know what, I'm going to give this movie another chance. And so I bought the Blu-ray cheap off Amazon. And what can I say? You know, I enjoyed it for what it was. Like, it's more spy and espionage than James Bond rather than Lara Croft Tomb Raider, in my opinion. You know, she barely raids any tombs in this film. It's more, as I say, like a spy, globe-trotting adventure movie. You know, I think the tomb raiding aspect is far superior in the first movie. But I enjoyed it for what it was. You know, it had great action sequences, great stunts. And yeah, it's not as bad as I, you know, deemed it to be for all those years. You know, I pretty much ignored its existence for so many years until last year when I finally got around to, you know, I picked it up really cheap and gave it another chance. And yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. But the first movie will always be one of my favourite movies. And I throw it on, you know, multiple times a year. You know, it's just great entertainment, you know, and I really enjoy it a lot. And I'm all for that 130-minute version that's never been seen before. So I really look forward to maybe that coming out one day. The 2018 version, Alicia Van Vikander, I saw that in the cinema on its debut, you know, in the first day release. Got VIP seating and unlimited popcorn, and you know, the experience of this private screening of it was certainly hyped up. But I was really disappointed because I really was a big fan of I think it was the 2016 game of Tomb Raider. I was a really big fan of that reboot, you know, so when I learned they were doing a film based on that reboot, you know, I was really excited about it, you know, thought it was going to be really something special. But it just seemed to take the really big action sequences from that game and just throw them into a plot that just wasn't really interesting, and I just did not really care for it. I didn't care for Alicia Vikander in the role of Lara Croft. You know, I really admire her dedication to the role and all the training she went through. You know, the diets, the training, you know, everything. You know, she really put her heart and soul into the role, which I really admire, but I just don't think she was right for the part. And Angelina Jolie was always my favourite, you know, was always superior to the new film, in my opinion. But, you know, it was all just trying to reboot and reinvent the franchise, get new interest in it, but it's just a shame that it went the way it did and the sequels and the series got cancelled. So now we come to the Sophie Turner Tomb Raider series that's currently just started shooting, actually, with Amazon Video. And I'm really looking forward to it. You know, they've recently just released a press photo of the first look of Lara Croft. And I think she looks great. I think she really looks the part. If you look back at the original video games, you know, she just really looks, you know, the part to those original games. And I believe they're taking it back to inspired by the original core design games, which again, I'm all for. You know, I really think she's going to do a good job. You know, I've got to say, I've not seen Sophie Turner in a lot of things. You know, I have watched Game of Thrones and I enjoyed her performance as Sansa Stark. And I have seen her in the X-Men films and I thought she did a fine job as Jean Grey. I know she gets a lot of criticism for her acting roles and things like that, but I really think she's going to do a good job. You know, she's 29 years old, which I think is perfect age to play Lara Croft. You know, she's certainly got the physicality, and again, she's been going through a lot of training for it. And I'm just really looking forward to see what they do with the series and what she brings to the character. You know, she's really invested in the part. You know, she's been a big fan of the entire series her whole life, and she's really looking forward to getting stuck in and doing a really good job with the role. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with this new series, and I'm just going to go in open-minded, give it a chance, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. My favourite game in the entire series has got to be, I do have to say, Tomb Raider Legend for the Xbox 360. You know, completed this game many times. I absolutely love it. This was when they rebooted the series, when Angel of Darkness kind of received a bad reception and kind of failed and kind of like killed off the franchise for many years. Crystal Dynamics took the Lara Croft character and made Tomb Raider Legend with the original video game designer Toby Gard back at the creative helm. And, you know, this was a great game. You know, she moved like she'd never moved before. You know, the gameplay was much faster. Just all the mechanics were so much better and more fluent. And it was a really great story, looking for King Arthur's sword, the Excalibur. I really got invested in the plot. and just really enjoyed it thoroughly. And Keely Hawes, I do have to say, is probably the best voice of Lara Croft. I think she is Lara Croft. I really enjoy it. And yeah, it's just a great game. I love every aspect of it, all the levels, the variation in the levels, the vehicle levels, the level in Tokyo on the skyscrapers, that is a standout level for me. And yeah, I just thought this was a great game, and I've revisited it many, many times over the years. It's such a great game. It's got to be my favourite in the entire series. So yeah, that was just my thoughts on the Tomb Raider movie series, the games, and my anticipation and my looking forward to the new Sophie Turner series. As I say, I'm not like a diehard, authority expert on Tomb Raider. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the films. I do enjoy the video games. I think she's a great character. She's a great role model for all the women out there and young girls. You think, she's just a great character all around. She is essentially the female Indiana Jones. And I just love the globetrotting, the action, the archaeology, the exploration. I just love everything about the Tomb Raider series, even though I'm maybe not the biggest diehard fan. I'm looking at buying Tomb Raider 4 to 6 remastered. Let me know in the comments down below whether you think I should do so. I have played Tomb Raider 1 to 3 remastered, which I really enjoyed. I have some friends that really enjoy the remastered games, so I'm tempted to buy the 4 to 6 remasters just to complete the series. So yeah, this is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed me just talking very quickly about Tomb Raider and my experiences with the Tomb Raider series. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to my channel. I really do appreciate all the support. Take care, guys, and I will see you very soon in more videos.